Are you sure the child is not for both of you? Please go home, sir, and discuss with your wife. She will confess the truth, the doctor said dismissively. Jennifer went to meet her friend. Then they drove to different hospitals with her spoon, her husband's toothbrush, and that of Progress, the little girl in question. But the result this time was even more surprising. Benny and Bayo aren't the biological parents of the child. What's going on? Benny murmured. Babe, you need to go home and talk to your husband so that both of you can pull heads together and sort this out. Something isn't right at all, Jennifer said, trying to calm her down. She dropped Benny at her gate and drove home. When the gatekeeper opened the gate, what she saw made her heart beat faster. Bayo had thrown her clothes and luggages outside, and Progress was also locked out. She sat on the floor, crying seriously. Benny knocked the door. Baby, don't do this to me. I have never cheated on you. Something isn't right. My love, please, open the door. Let's talk, please. Benny knelt before the door, banging it, but Bayo wasn't listening. He was still swimming in anger and disgust. Benny packed her clothes and luggages that were littered in the compound and took them to the boys' quarter, then took Progress with her and went to Jennifer's house. Later that day, Jennifer and her husband paid Bayo a visit to discuss with him. Bayo, please, can we talk? They chorused as they stood at the doorway. Bayo let them in. As they were discussing, Bayo caught sight of Benny. He stood up with so much anger. I told you, I don't want to see you anywhere close to this house. Get out! Benny knelt down begging him, but he was so cold. He didn't want to set eyes on Benny. So Jennifer told Benny to wait outside the compound. Jennifer and her husband spoke to Bayo, and they told him how Benny went to different hospitals, and the result shows that they weren't the biological parents of the child. Bayo felt guilty for not listening to his wife. Bayo told the gate man to let Benny in. After apologizing to her, and they concluded on visiting the hospital that she gave birth to Progress to find out what happened. The next day, Benny and Bayo went to the hospital. Luckily, they met the doctor. Good day, doctor. 5 years ago, my wife put to birth in this hospital. But now, DNA was done and the child is not mine, neither is he my wife's, he explained to the doctor, hoping to get a solution. But instead, what the doctor said was even more suspicious. Are you sure the child is not for both of you? Please go home, sir, and discuss with your wife. She will confess the truth. We've had cases like this. Please, go and settle your family problems. Your wife isn't telling you the truth. Benny quickly sneered. What's that supposed to mean? I have never cheated on my husband since I knew him. We have done DNA in almost 7 hospitals, yet the same result. Mr. Who again? The doctor cut in. Mr. Bayo, sir, Bayo answered. Mr. Bayo, please, can you come back next time? I have a lot of patients who need my attention now. He dismissed the couple. The next day, they went to the hospital again. Immediately the doctor caught sight of them from the gate. When he was about going out, he went back and told the nurses and doctors to tell the couples that he is not in town. After several visits to that hospital, Jennifer's husband suggested that something isn't right. An investigation should be carried out on that hospital to find out what is going on there. Benny and Bayo reached to an investigator called Mr. Josie with the help of Jennifer's husband, who carried out thorough investigation on the hospital. And he brought information that he find out people are complaining of that hospital, that they swap and sell babies to women who lost their children during labor, and also to ritualists. Bayo's eyes widened in shock. He told Mr. Josie to gather concrete evidences. Mr. Josie went further and he gathered evidence from one of their former doctors who couldn't condone their dubious acts anymore. He resigned and started his own pharmacy business. At first, he he denied knowing anything about the hospital. But as Mr. Josie threatened him, he surrendered. "Please, I don't know anything about that hospital. Please, oh, don't come here to get any information from me again. Please," Dr. Chuks said with fear. "Sir, calm down. Calm down. You worked there before. As a matter of fact, you resigned last year, right? So you're not innocent after all. For your own good and safety, tell us about that hospital." Mr. Josie threatened him. Sorry, sir," he stammered, as Bayo and Benny were present, looking at him, waiting to hear everything. "I remembered you, madam. The day you put to bed, I was the doctor who attended to you. You gave birth to a baby boy. But there was a very rich patient who wanted a male child by all means. When she came for delivery, unfortunately for her, she delivered a baby girl. She was so sad. Her husband wants to marry a second wife if she doesn't give birth to a boy. At that time, the husband traveled abroad. You were the only patient who gave birth to a baby boy in the ward that day. The wealthy woman, Mrs. Usi, was ready to pay any amount. So, your children were swapped. After that incident, my conscience couldn't allow me to continue, so I resigned a day after you left. I was threatened never to spill their secrets, else they will kill me," Dr. Chuks explained. Benny was so shocked and weak to the story she just heard. Bayo promised to protect him from any harm. The next day, Bayo called his lawyer, and the hospital was sued for human trafficking and organ trafficking. The doctors and nurses were arrested and charged to court. The evidences against the hospital was alarming, so the doctors and nurses were sentenced to 45 years in prison, and the hospital was shut down. The judge invited Mrs. Usi and his family. They were surprised to receive a court invitation letter, knowing fully well they don't have any issues with anybody. After 2 invitations, they went to the court with their lawyers as instructed. On the court day, the judge spoke to Mrs. Usi first. "Mrs. Usi, 12 noon on the 3rd of December 2020 at Maitama Hospital. What transpired between you, the doctors and the nurses?" The judge questioned her. Her husband was lost in confusion. "My lord, I don't know what you're talking about," she lied. "Honey, what's going on? What are they saying?" the husband asked in confusion. The judge demanded for the DNA result of the supposed swapped biological child of Benny and Bayo and other evidences. The DNA result was done when Mr. Josie successfully penetrated Mrs. Usi's house through the house help. After so much begging and gifts, she gave him the child's toothbrush, which was used for the DNA test. Bayo's lawyer tendered his client's evidence to the judge, and Mrs. Usi couldn't deny it, especially when she saw Dr. Chuks. Her husband was so disappointed. "So you brought another man's child to me just to deceive me? You are so wicked." "Order!" the judge voiced, and the courtroom became silent again. The judge ordered Mrs. Usi to return the child and collect hers. The next day, Benny, Bayo's lawyer, Progress, the little girl, Jennifer and her husband visited the address given to them from the court to Mrs. Usi's house. They were indeed wealthy. The house was really full of luxury. They rang the gate bell and the gatekeeper let them in after confirming from his boss. Mrs. Usi bowed her head in shame as she saw the couples. "You are welcome to my humble abode. What can I offer you?" Usi's husband, Mr. Jeff, asked them as they sat relaxed in the luxurious sofa, looking at the house in admiration, full of its beautiful design and furnitures. "Nothing, Mr. Jeff. We are fine. Let's just go straight to the reason why we're here," Mr. Bayo interrupted. "Okay, if you insist," Mr. Jeff said, looking guilty. "Yes, I insist, please." So, Progress was handed over to Mr. Jeff and his wife. The little boy, Paul, was given to their biological parents. "Mommy, Daddy, who is this uncle and auntie?" Progress asked as she was staring uncomfortably at them. "You will spend your holiday here, my love. Daddy and I will come and pick you after the holidays, Benny lied. Mr. Jeff walked them to the gate, and he pleaded if Paul, the little boy, can be allowed to come and visit them during holidays, and also if he can pay him a visit sometimes, as he was already too attached to him. He will miss Paul dearly. Bayo and Benny agreed, so they left happily. As they drove home, they thought deeply how they were going to break the news to their twins that Progress wasn't their biological sister. Now Paul is their biological brother. They kept thinking till they arrived home. As for Usi, her husband divorced her and chased her away from the house, though Progress didn't waste time to adjust to the environment. As the saying, blood is thicker than water. Mr. Jeff's love for Progress knows no bound. When she was grown, Mr. Jeff sent her abroad, and sometimes he would visit Bayo and Benny so he can spend some time with Paul. Paul also missed him as well. Some holidays, Bayo would take Paul to visit Mr. Jeff. The both families were finally at peace. Mrs. Usi was frustrated, so she reached out to some bad boys to go after Dr. Chuks and kill him. Make sure to find that stupid man that destroyed my life. If he had kept quiet, my home wouldn't have scattered. She instructed the boys and gave them 10 million naira. If the mission is successful, she will pay them the balance of 12 million naira. The fear of her ex-husband marrying another woman that will bear him children, most importantly a male child that will inherit his wealth, ate deeply. She started monitoring him. Bad boys couldn't fulfill their mission because Bayo and his friends sent very tight security around Dr. Chuks. The bad boys met with Usi in an uncompleted building for their balance, even though they couldn't complete their mission. Madam, we no fit kill am o. Securities dey follow him up and down, but just give us our balance, we go still continue dey put eye on him, one of the bad boys said. But Usi wasn't having it. How dare you stand before me to say that nonsense from your sticky mouth? She thundered. Okay, madam, please stop that. Don't dare insult any of us here. S what? She thundered again. One of the guys pointed his gun at her. Keep that thing down, idiot, she said rudely. The guy wasn't having it, so he pulled the trigger on Usi and they ran away. That was how Usi died miserably. What did you learn from this story? Let's hear you in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this story. Like, share, comment, and also subscribe to this channel. Turn on your bell notification so you get notified when an interesting story like this drops. If you missed the first part of this story, please do well to check it out. See you in the next video.